will ya? I'm gonna get a water. You want one?
What's that?
A water.
Please.
I wanna prop this open and I gotta go up and get a water.
Want water?
Oh, hey, Colleen. We're getting on here a little bit early. Hi, MedTech, GG, Neil. Hello, hello.
Around the corner.
Yeah, we're just getting on here a little bit early because.
YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok Live.
Yeah, so we're doing another safety lecture here for the Bisbee Fire Department. And this is, of course, part of a series. You next week as well. We're just going to live stream everyone. Live stream every one of these. So we're glad you're with us. Those of you who are with us.
I do.
Neil, Quincy, hello, hello, Sonny, Sherry, good to see you, Sebastian.
No, you're not.
You can't be done with something.
We're slowly, yep, piling on. We're gonna get started in about 5 minutes here.
Milking it, so.
Yeah, we've got a nice little PowerPoint presentation we put together. Reed and I have been upgrading it here. Last couple days we've been working on it, and we've got some more videos in there, and so I think you'll get a lot out of it. It's good. Welcome, welcome. Like I said, we'll get started in about 5 more minutes. Charlie, good to see you. Jethro, welcome. Yep. Jeremiah, hello. MedTech, good. Right on. Okay, well, we got 5 minutes to kill. Everybody's on here. Okay, NC Bigfoot, hello there. Oh, an Extreme Tech guy is with us. Great, Scared Silly.
Pet guy?
Yes, you know Extreme Tech guy.
Oh, tech guy.
Yeah,
I thought it was like pet guy. It was like, I raised that.
Sherry, hello.
I told you that.
Scared Silly. Colleen,
Oh, really?
I
good.
was like, what?
Yeah.
TikTok, we're live on TikTok, we're live on Facebook, and we are live on
What did you do
YouTube.
with them then?
Sold him to a buddy. To a
Matt
buddy's
Wilson,
father.
hello.
Big enclosure set up down there. I raised him in a 3-car garage. I used to walk him down Main
Will I
Street.
be, are you talking to me, Sonny? Will I be coming back to Indiana? I don't foresee a trip to Indiana anytime soon. Jeff, hello. Yeah. So this is not going to be the best place to film this from.
So we'll
'Cause
give it
we've got a
couple
glare,
minutes when we get
so-
started,
Yeah.
let everybody
Lois, I'll give you
file in,
that.
All that. I think that, this is a new improvement. This is the first time we've used this PowerPoint, this
Yeah.
presentation.
How's that look
Coach
from
just
there?
finished it today.
Good, pretty good.
And it's,
Oh, yeah.
bids, you know,
Here, I'm gonna
all
stand
that
next to it.
stuff we've done here, even that one in town, a couple years ago, the
Yeah.
Gulch. Oh, the memories.
Yeah,
Hi, Lois. You look great about it.
yeah.
The memories, God.
Good. You didn't cut off the top of my hair?
No.
It's okay if you did.
No, we didn't. We got the full view of you.
It was an old one that we've been using for the Department of Agriculture.
There's another all lined up pretty good.
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
had that
Alright.
one tailored down to.
Hi from JFK in Georgia.
Public, one for first responders, and one for the industry that has.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Alright.
When you get
Got
into.
someone from
Great.
Canada.
I know we're a little slow right now.
But this
Just
is the
hang,
first time
hang
we'll
with
be
us
using
for a
this
second.
presentation.
We've got the Bisbee Fire Department here, and Reed's gonna, I'll weigh in a little bit, but Reed's gonna do a lecture here, safety lecture for the Bisbee Fire Department about killer bees.
And we're live on YouTube.
The
if
problems
anybody
that they
wants
bring.
to let their, you know,
It's
anybody
really
know.
important that our first responders have a real solid understanding of these critters. They're bad news, you know.
Actually,
Yeah, we'll be on
And they've got to know what they are and how to deal with them. So thanks to Kathy Childress, she helped us upgrade our slideshow a little bit with some real pertinent information about what to do when you get a victim inside the vehicle, you know, during a rescue, how to deal with them, that kind of thing, as well as
Anybody that wants to get
some
on,
other
go on
pieces.
WhatsApp.
So
Yeah,
we'll get started here shortly.
So
Thanks
this
for
is gonna
being
be on
with us.
WhatsApp also for the county.
What's up?
The captain's just putting on the link for WhatsApp for the
Oh,
county.
great.
so all the,
Hello,
command
Mike.
staff, all the police, fire, some federal stuff, and the county guys,
Oh, good.
it'll all go to them too if they want, choose to log in.
And it'll be there.
Yeah.
Anyway, they can watch it whenever they want, you know.
We were gonna do a last tour. We got this profile.
How's that looking there?
I think this
Lois?
is good right here. Yeah. What do you think, Josh? I
And
think that,
and
I
Hosh,
think
of
that looks
course, she
pretty
told
damn
everybody
good.
that there's gonna be no comments and no questions answered. We're not
Yeah,
doing it. This
yeah,
is-
yeah.
This is training.
Right. Yeah, just to repeat that, if you didn't hear what Reed said, we're not gonna be answering comments or questions out there.
Next day.
We're answering questions in here for the team, so lower, what is it? Manage your expectations.
Yeah,
Lower
right.
your
Lower them.
always lower your
Bury your
expectations.
expectations.
If you can bury them, that's
Bury
even
them.
better.
Save a lot
What's
of
MedTech
issues.
say? Expectations are a prison, something like that. I think that was what she told
Yeah,
us.
expectations are prison, no, well put, yes indeed.
Yeah.
Bury them deep.
Yep, you're a fly on the wall.
Right.
Enjoy being
No,
a
they're a
fly.
killer bee on the wall, come on.
You're a killer bee on the wall.
Well,
We sprayed you with spray adhesive. So you're stuck to the wall.
You know what's
they're at the
actually
fire
funny?
department Forever, they
This
have
is
to
tick-
bury
this is so close. I don't have my glasses. I can't read any of it
Oh, you can't
anyway.
read it?
It's perfect.
Yeah. Great.
it. Well, what do you think, is everybody here that's
Ready to
gonna be
go?
here? Alright,
All right.
cool. Right on,
Thanks, MedTech.
new and improved,
I literally
everybody.
don't think I can read comments on the
Of course, I'm
screen
Reed
without
Booth,
my
Killer Bee
glasses.
Guy, local, we're with the home team here today. We been going around the county to do training with fire departments, especially in Cochise County, because if you haven't dealt with these little monsters, you will. And that's just, I've decided that after over 30 years of doing this, as you guys know, I was here when they first came across the line, and when they first invaded. And after over 30 years of doing this, there are only 4 types of people in the county. That's it, only 4. People who have called us, people who will, people who will call again, and those who should have. And we all know a few of them, and some of them not with us anymore, right? So anyway, we've got a brand new PowerPoint presentation. This is gonna be awesome. It's not death by PowerPoint, so everybody relax. It's gonna be really cool. We've got some vids and a lot of information. We're gonna start with a little bit of history about what's going on with these damn things, current events, and even toward the end, what you as first responders can do out in the field when coming upon a stinging incident. We've been working with Kathy Childress up in Benson, who is a nurse practitioner for training for HCI up there, and she helped us with even, medicines and whatnot, and so pronunciations on some of these medicines may not come easily, but So anyway, we can go ahead and get started. We're gonna be covering what the heck they are, history and spread behavioral traits, the impact on humans and agriculture, all right, and management and control measures, because it's all pertinent. And this is our introduction to the Africanized honeybee. You see how it looks like a honeybee? It is. They look exactly the same. That's a real problem, actually. So we can go ahead and how this happened was it literally was at a science experiment gone wrong, literally. And in 1957, at the request of the Brazilian government, because they wanted to be a world player on the honey stage, and these European honeybees are very sickly, and they don't make as much honey as the South African honeybee. So this doctor went to South Africa to procure pure African queen bees for experiments in crossbreeding. So you got the pure African and the European. Crossbreed to make Africanized. The reason it's called Africanized instead of Europeanized is it's a dominant gene. All right. Well, he did, and they did actually create a better bee, which is a serious problem, which we'll get into. Well, once again, here we go. The African bee, the pure African bee, and the European bee. Pretty straightforward as to why they wanted to crossbreed these to create a different bee, but they did not know what they were going to be getting into. They didn't know they were going to be getting, they were creating chihuahuas. was basically what they were treating. They thought they were just gonna get better honey producers and disease resistant. As we all know here, they got a heck of a lot more than that. So they really, I mean, Brazil, like I said, used to be, even in the 50s, 1950s, they were insignificant producer of honey in the world. And it's all about money. That's the only reason that they crossbred these damn things. And so they did, and it worked. They're big honey producers now. And yes, their beekeepers work with these Africanized honeybees all the time, every day. Full armor, it's war every single day. Our concern here in the southwestern United States, especially at this time, is it's more of a feral hive situation. No one in their right mind that I know of keeps honeybees in their backyard anymore. But for the big producers in South America, they're a huge producer of honeybee. And we'll go into the different types of honeybee situations. In a minute. So this guy was actually a very responsible scientist, the Dr. Warwick Kerr, and he had them in an enclosed area. He was crossbreeding them for these experiments. Oh boy, and some guy didn't get the memo, didn't go to the training session like what we're doing here today. And to keep these bees in, we have screens at the entrance of the hive because the queen is much bigger and she can't get out and swarm, which is nature's way of propagating the air with bees. She can't do that. So this guy walked by. And the bees, the worker bees can get through it. They have to kind of wriggle around to get through it. But this new guy, oh my God, he walked by and saw all these beehives with all these screens and all these worker bees having trouble getting through them. He pulled all the screens off and they got out. And here we are. And that is literally that stupid of a mistake that caused all this mayhem in the Western Hemisphere. And they never existed on this planet before. All right, they are totally man-made. So they spread out about 300 miles in every direction a year, and of course south and west from Brazil, that's not much. North, quite a long ways. There are no current maps of spread of Africanized honeybees because all jurisdictions, all governmental and agencies have stopped. They don't track them anymore. There are no extensions or anything doing it. It's like they're here. That's all there is to it. That's basically what they did in 1998, which we'll go through in a little bit here in Arizona when they called up all of us and said, don't send any more samples. It's over. They're 100%, we're throwing samples away. So if you want your samples tested of honeybees, it's an expensive deal because it's genetic. The size thing doesn't work anymore. And yeah, there was an actual stinging incident in Manchester, New Hampshire. That gives an idea of how these guys are they change, they adapt, and they have adapted, and now we'll go into where they are. So here is, now I want you guys to stare at these two pictures, because one is Africanized and one is European, or is it? Right, they're the same. They're exactly the same. There is no difference. Find the difference there isn't any. And this is a real problem for small beekeepers especially. You know, this romance about honeybees has got to go away because the party's over. These guys, you can't tell if your bees are Africanized or killer bees. You cannot tell by looking. They look exactly the same. And the behavior is not an indicator either. Ooh, there's a weird one, huh? So, this is really kind of an important part of it because the commercially kept honeybees are listed as livestock by the USDA. That's what they are. They're livestock. So the guys that have 10,000 hives, take them around for the almond pollination and all that shit, right? That's what they're good for. If you have 1,000 acres of watermelons, you need honeybees to pollinate them. If you have a backyard garden, you do not need honeybees to pollinate it. None of our food that we eat comes from feral hives. None of it. So then there are, of course, like I was just saying, the feral honeybees. And that's what we deal with here in Cochise County. That's what we're concerned with, because that's where people are out weed whacking in the backyard and get attacked from bees under their shed. They didn't even know they were there. So we're dealing with feral hives. They're not kept, all right? Now the other ones are the backyard honeybees. Well, I think we got somebody wanting to join the party here. Or we got a call. Oh, we got a call. Okay, hold it right there, everybody. More excitement. We got an emergency call. And it looks upgraded. We can continue. We
Bisbee
can,
medics.
we can continue this
Respond
later.
to allergic reaction. Upgraded response.
Only some
At
of us will be.
203
Only
North
several
Judd
things.
Drive,
You want us to
County
continue? We
Sheriff
can. You can watch
Jail.
it later. All right,
Bisbee
all right, Pat.
medics.
All right,
Respond
thank
to
you.
allergic reaction. Upgraded response.
We're in the
At
fire department.
203 North Judd Drive, County Sheriff Jail. Respond on dispatch fire east.
Didn't they just say allergic reaction? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. We're talking about bees here. Did someone get?
That'd be one.
That would be one coincidence that we'd never live down. Oh my God. Wait a minute, allergic reaction. So when they get calls like this, of course, they have to go. Half the team just left, but we're gonna continue because they can always catch up with it later. And so anyway, we'll continue with it. So backyard kept honeybees are seriously the problem, besides feral. Because where did the feral honeybees come from? Backyard beekeepers mostly. So when you have a hive in your backyard, if like your Rottweiler, you could keep your bees in your backyard, that would be awesome. But you can't. All right, your bees in your backyard need at least a 2 to 3 mile radius to forage. So you cannot keep your bees in your backyard. And we'll go into more into this, but that's a serious problem. So unfortunately, backyard kept honeybees are the problem now with since the Africanized have come in. They were a problem before, but we'll explain that in a minute. So those are the 3 types of ways that honeybees are kept. Now, this is an interesting little thing that I'm gonna spring on you guys that most people don't cognize and never have thought about. But when we think of our nice honeybees that we used to love, Winnie the Pooh shit and everything, well, they were European honeybees, right? Okay, wait a minute. I've never heard of an Alabama honeybee. Never heard of a Southwestern honeybee. I've never heard of a Latin American honeybee. No, honeybees are invasive to the Western Hemisphere. There were no honeybees in the state of Arizona before 1872, ever. They made it into California first because of the gold rush. People brought them on their covered wagons. Hosh has found evidence of letters, correspondence between the settlers in the 1600s and England requesting that their honeybee hives be sent on ships because there are none here. So when honeybees, and this is basically the spread throughout the years and the different types of spread, either direct importation, observed swarms, or introduction. So stinging honeybees are invasive to the Western Hemisphere. This is a mind blower for most people. They don't belong here. When they were nice and fuzzy and didn't try to kill us all the time and our animals and gave us all this wonderful honey, what's not to love? What we did not pay attention to was the damage they do to native environment and native pollinators. An invasive species has never benefited the native environment that they've invaded, ever. And that, in this case, is true too. So the honeymoon's over. We're pulling the wool back from everybody's eyes. Honeybees are invasive. So European honeybees are an invasive species. Africanized honeybees are a deadly invasive species. Wow. Kind of puts a different light on it, right? So the European, they basically do the same thing as far as being invasive goes. You can go down the list. They actually outcompete, although the Africanized are much better at destruction than the European because they're more aggressive. Totally more aggressive. So they outcompete our native bees. They'll actually kill or chase off native pollinators on flowers. They're Vikings. They're total hoarders. That's what they are. Whereas our native honeybees, there are no native honeybees. Our native pollinators are mostly solitary and don't stand a chance against the Viking hordes. So they do all of the same things. They can devastate native pollinators and they threaten conservation areas. But of course, the difference between that and that is every day they kill people and livestock and pets. In Latin America, people die every day from Africanized honeybees. As you guys probably know, they killed 3 people in this county last summer that we know of. In the summer now, in Cochise County alone, every day people get stung. As to whether they call you guys or us, maybe not, obviously not. Or we'd be even busier if we could stand that. So they kill people, pets, and livestock. That's the huge difference. So we go from invasive species to deadly invasive species. So let's go to the...
Next is the save the wrong bees video.
Mm-hmm.
This video is next.
Oh, okay. This really points home. This was done in Germany actually, and it's about It's called We're Saving the Wrong Bees. This is an excellent vid that I want you guys to watch.
They're weird, fuzzy, and in a lot of trouble. These insects are actually all bees, wild ones. And they're debatably more
you hear
important
that?
than the honey-making kind.
Turn it up.
People are really worried about bees.
We take the plight of the honeybee for granted at our own peril.
But what most people don't know, honeybee numbers are increasing worldwide. Not just that, but the way humans use honeybees makes them a problem. Putting a honeybee hive in your backyard doesn't help. Because we're saving the wrong bees. Animals are involved in the pollination of 90% of the world's flowering plants. And when you think of pollinators, the honeybee probably comes to mind. That's because honeybees and humans have an ancient relationship. Bees have been managed for thousands of years.
There's a lot of evidence that it played an important role also in the ancient cultures in Egypt and in Greece. And so beekeeping has always been very widespread.
Axel is the chair of the Invertebrate Conservation Committee at the IUCN. Honeybees are native to Asia, Europe, and Africa, but nowadays are everywhere except Antarctica. Apis mellifera is the most common honeybee and the best studied, although there are another 10 known species. They're general pollinators, meaning they will pollinate most plants. And although honeybees are at risk from pests and disease, the number of colonies worldwide is actually growing. According to the FAO, managed hives have increased worldwide by 83% since 1961.
Because they are always managed by the beekeepers and also receive veterinary treatment and so on, there's no risk that they will become extinct.
But honeybees aren't the only bees.
The general public confounds bees with the honeybee.
This is Isabel, a pollination ecology researcher specializing in urban environments.
It would be the same situation if, for example, you were talking about birds and people think that when you talk about birds, you talk about chickens.
There are around 20,000 different species of wild bees, and they are the most important wild pollinators. They're mostly solitary, and unlike honeybees, are suited to specific plants, which makes them much better at pollinating. A hectare of apples, for example, would require tens of thousands of honeybees to pollinate, but only hundreds of this wild bee, because Osmia cornuta is particularly good at apple pollination.
Each flowering plant is strongly connected to a pollinator that fits accordingly to the lock and key principle.
An entomologist by training, Sabrina is a project manager at the Research Institute of Organic Agriculture.
This perfect fit between flower and its selected pollinator is the product of an ongoing co-evolution for centuries that is still operating.
Like the squash bees native to Central and South America. They're perfectly suited to squash plants. They're early risers, and squash flowers are only open early in the morning, while the honeybees are still asleep. Don't like squash? How about tomatoes, potatoes, or eggplant? These crops also need wild pollinators, loud ones like bumblebees to be precise. Their flowers require a vibrating buzz to release their pollen, something a bumblebee perfectly provides. Honeybees just don't have that skill. But wild bees are in serious decline. And this doesn't only affect them and their ecosystems, but our food security as well. Worldwide, wild bee diversity has been decreasing each year since the 1990s. Pesticides, intensive agriculture, and especially habitat loss are main drivers. A recent study found that we may have already lost a quarter of wild bee species, but assessment is hard due to the lack of global data. Various regional estimates suggest over 40% of wild bee and butterfly species are threatened. Farmers are already noticing a difference.
When they walked along a field, everything was full of pollinators. And nowadays it's more like everything is calmed down and nobody knows where they are.
This loss of diversity can cause knock-on effects on whole ecosystems. Less pollinator diversity means fewer wild plants. This can hurt animals that use them for food or shelter. And it's also bad for the future of our food.
The yield of cultivated plants is higher when they are visited by variety of pollinators compared to when they are visited by only honeybees.
Remember Osmia cornuta, the apple specialist?
Most of the pollination of apple trees is performed by several species of wild bees. So if you don't get these wild bees, you get proper apples that would be reduced.
US crops are already producing less due to wild pollinator decline. And globally, we're planting more and more of the crops that require animal pollination, like fruits, vegetables, and oilseeds. The increase in honeybees hasn't kept up. This means pollinator dependence has increased around 70% since 1961. And combined with the decline in wild pollinators, means an emergency for the global food supply. This is especially true in countries with many large monocultures that destroy wild pollinator habitats, like China and the United States. Not only that, the way we use honeybees actually makes them a part of the problem. According to the American Beekeeping Federation, 2/3 of the 2.7 million honeybee colonies in the US are used for pollination. Most go to the almond fields in California, where 80% of the world's almonds come from. Then bees rotate around the country to pollinate other crops. Nowhere else in the world uses honeybees for pollination like the US, but the trend is growing in Europe too, as wild pollinators disappear. Unfortunately, it's not so good for the honeybees. They can be exposed to pesticides from the crops or catch diseases from the other colonies. And these honeybees are also a threat to wild ones.
Within a honeybee hive, you have tens of thousands of individuals that need a lot of food. They will eat most of the floral resources, and there will not be enough left for the other pollinating species.
If you have many bees, then they will probably outcompete this native species very fast.
Honeybees can also spread disease to wild bees. An infected bee can leave some virus on a flower to be picked up by the next wild bee that visits. It's not the honeybee's fault, but save the bees definitely does not mean adding more into the environment.
There have been a lot of people that thought that they could only save the bees when having their own beehives in the backyard, and that's the wrong way to conserve pollinators.
So what's the right way? Industrial agriculture is the biggest threat to all bees. It uses harmful chemicals and relies on huge fields of one crop. Ideally, we change our whole food system, but on a personal level, supporting small-scale sustainable farmers, if viable, also supports diverse habitats for wild bees. Even more can be done with a backyard, like leaving native plants alone or planting new ones. Open, sunny ground or dead logs also make great breeding spots for wild bees. But most of all, they need more attention. We need honeybees but aren't in danger of losing them. With wild bees, it's another story.
Did you have any idea wild bees were cool? I am in love with Osmia cornuta.
They're weird.
So the whole point of this video is it's scientific proof that we've had it upside down this whole time. When people say save the bees, which ones? It would be like saying save the grasses and then planting some buffalo grass in the backyard. Buffalo grass, horrible invasive species. That's why our wild fires are so hot now, because of buffalo grass. Same thing here. So save the bees, which ones? And how this is really important for first responders, etc., is that the honeymoon's over. We kill every hive we come across because they are a deadly invasive species. They don't belong here. So that's why it's really important to stress to our customers and our clients and our patients and our people that we're dealing with that, no, we're not going to relocate your damn bees. It'd be like taking a landmine from your yard and putting it in someone else's. We're not going to do it, you know. And even if they weren't Africanized, they're still an invasive species. So that was the point of that particular thing. If anybody has any questions in the meantime, especially about these topics like this, you know, stick up a hand or something, because it's a fascinating study when you start flipping the head on everything, you know, when you turn it upside down, right? So, I mean, all feral honeybees, it presents this problem of environmental degradation. There are more honeybees now than ever in the Western Hemisphere, more of this invasive species, and as far as feral goes, they're all gonna be Africanized shortly, if they aren't already. Because they're in all the lower 48 states already. So we know that agriculture relies on these, absolutely. Like they were saying, if you've got 10,000 acres of almonds, you need honeybees to pollinate it, period. That's where they should be, they are livestock, that's where they should be. This romance about keeping backyard bees to help your environment is completely upside down, completely upside down. So, yeah, and actually, do we go into our ARS next, or? Okay, here we go. This is it, the actual law in the books, which I helped write years ago. They came down lawmakers about, 15 years ago or more, and conferred with me and said, look, we're getting too many lawsuits from people getting attacked by bees. What do you think we should do about feral hives, etc., and backyard beekeeping? Of course, we're not going to stop backyard beekeeping. It's not going to happen. But ARS 36-601 actually states that if you have a feral colony or an unmanaged hive on your property, legally you have to have it removed. Legally, you have to have it removed. So these old days of like, oh, they've been under my shed for 30 years and they don't hurt anyone. Yeah, well, if they don't, they're going to. And also, nature's way of propagating the area with bees is swarming. And we'll go into that in a minute. It's horrible because your beehive will put up to 30 new beehives a year. It's fascinating stuff and absolutely horrible, actually. So that's the law on it, if anybody argues with you. So they have a remarkable adaptability. It's incredible how they can change every year. This has been a real problem for beekeepers because I was a beekeeper in the late 80s and early 90s before the Africanized came across the line. And by the mid 90s, I stopped keeping bees completely, like everyone else in the county did in the Southwest that I know of, because I had my bees up at the tunnel, where the ranch still is. And I used to watch clouds of my bees chase cars down Highway 80 back then. And maybe I shouldn't do that anymore. Then they still haven't gotten any nicer at all. So they'll live anywhere and they change. So European honeybees don't change ever. We knew what to expect from them next week, next month, next decade, next century. They always behave the same and they always produce the same amount of honey approximately. There was, the anomalies within hives, of course, but there was not this extreme change of behavior where now these Africanized honeybees can live where it's cold. We don't know if they couldn't before. They just are. And their behavior also, like we're going to see here in a little bit, about how they've changed in their behavior. Is this that, this is that vid that you just did?
We're getting there.
Okay. So, of course, as all of you have probably seen, swarms, they'll land anywhere. A swarm of bees, again, this is nature's way of propagating the area with bees. So you've got a hive somewhere under somebody's shed, and 10 or 20% of the bees take off, go find a new place to live. You still have your old hive. All right. The problem is that these hives now, these Africanized honeybees, will put out up to 30 new hives a year. In the old days with European honeybees, still invasive, they would do that 5 or 6 times a year, left to their own devices. But with Africanized, they just keep spitting out hive after hive after. There's no shortage of these things. We're overrun by them, actually. We're totally overrun by a deadly invasive species. So nature's way of propagating the area with bees, like I was saying, and the old queen actually leaves with, this is how your nice hive, which we have the video of the bee attack 2 years ago up the Gulch. All right, we have that video here, and I'll forewarn you, we're all adults here at First Responders. Yes, I drop a few F-bombs. So it's a video of it. It was war footage. It was total war footage. But just to show you how horrible it was. So the old queen, so this person up the Gulch had a hive, a European hive, 3rd generation beekeeper, whatever. When the old queen, your nice European queen, when they decide to divide and conquer, when they send out a swarm, that mated queen goes out with that swarm. There are 3 things that are not in the hive. There is no bathroom, no boudoir, and no cemetery. Okay, they'd rather die than poop in the hive. There's no mating in the hive, and they take their dead out. So your nice, guaranteed European queen takes off with those bees. She leaves a virgin queen in your old hive. Well, that virgin queen has to go on a mating flight. And wherever Africanized drones exist, if there's only one hive in a 3-mile radius, Those drones will smell her pheromone, catch up with her, and mate with her, period. She comes back and starts laying Africanized eggs, and in 3 weeks, your hive's gone to shit. Your hive's Africanized. The other way that your nice European hive can become Africanized is what we call World War B, which is what the video is about, because you're a neighboring Africanized hive, a stronger Africanized hive. Now, just like every Rottweiler is not the same, Africanized hives, there can be nice ones, there can be mean ones, they just have a serious propensity to be mean. So a very strong Africanized hive will go into a neighboring hive, they're very keen to steal honey, all right? They'll go into your nice European docile hive, kill all the bees, sting the pupae to death through the caps on the cells, and either take all the honey and go home, or much worse, move in. And that's what happened up the Gulch, which you'll see in a little bit here. So they will, she'll mate one time in her life with 2 to 3 dozen drones. The mating occurs in flight, and it's not a pretty process for the males. Do we have that little clip in here? Here's what literally happens, and I'm sorry to say, but he literally explodes and dies. He literally does, after mating. So the queen will return, like I was saying, with that drone sperm and start laying. She'll lay 1,500 to 2,000 eggs every single day for up to 5 years from one mating flight. I always say it's like sci-fi, what we do. It's just like science fiction. So now you have your Africanized hive, and they will swarm endlessly.
This is that super swarm.
Oh, this is the weirdest swarm that I've ever seen. It was down on Wilson Road a few years ago. It's total science fiction. You guys just have to watch. It was just, I'd never seen anything like it. I don't know what happened or why, but there were millions of bees in this tree. This is not a hive. This is a swarm.
A small one here.
Literally millions of bees. I've never seen anything like it since, and I don't understand it personally. The trunk was covered. It was just phenomenal.
Right here.
A normal swarm of bees is about the size of a basketball. This is totally out in left field. Keep in mind that it only takes about 500 stings to equal a rattlesnake bite. And you have millions of Africanized bees here.
Could we get a big garbage bag or two out of the back of the truck and a big one? And I'm just going to start scooping them into. Look at this, this is solid beef. Look at it. That is solid beef from about there down. Feel it. Put your hand under there.
Oh,
No,
wow.
you put your hand under there.
Hand.
No, I'm not on my
My
hand.
hand. Wow.
Put
Okay,
your
that's my
hand.
hand. And this feels like I'm holding a small bag of sugar. Kind of.
So when we get called out every time, we have no idea what we're in for. Except it's probably going to be mayhem. And somebody probably already got hurt. But
Oh, they're all coagulating.
I've never seen anything like this. Every single time we get called out, we don't know about the temperament of the hive we're going to deal with. We can take a good guess at it if someone's already been attacked or killed or an animal. So this is another vid that we just put together today that Roche added to this. Honeybees, like I was saying, change every year. They change all the time. We always have to up our game every year. What the hell are they going to do now? Operate at lower temperatures. Like I told you guys, we had 3 removals yesterday in the snow. I mean, what in the heck? We've been getting swarms all year now. It used to be from Halloween until the middle of March, there was nothing going on, zero zilch, nada. Not a bee call. Not anymore. Now it's going year round. So they adapt and change. As to where they will live, they've also adapted and changed. A ball of bees hanging in a tree. A European hive, a European swarm like that would never ever live on a tree limb out in front of God and everybody. Never build comb on the tree limb and whatnot. That's a big change in behavior that you'll see here in a second. Where they live has expanded. They will live literally anywhere. Literally. So this is a really good, this is what's happened to us in the last couple of years and what we've seen that's a kind of an anomaly.
We're in a pecan orchard out.
Got more volume on that?
Do you see that? It's like right kind of in center of the cameras. See the slightest bit of yellow because
Yeah,
there's
it's 25 feet up in a
layers
pecan tree
of
up
cool.
north of Florida.
There's no sneaking up on them. Here we go, guys.
Pizza oven.
European bees will never, ever, ever do this.
Yeah, I think we got a class.
Under the eaves of the house, out in front of God and everybody, and so aggressive.
Smoke doesn't
That was
work.
up in Wilcox.
Don't smoke Africanized bees. It doesn't work.
Agave stumps. They just love them.
There we go. There they are. Yep, there's honey. We're gonna take this whole thing and throw them with
Under a house? Well, this is more expected, but this was just Nat Geo shit.
See that? Completely full of bees. Look at the size of that thing, you guys.
Under a Connex.
And there's more hives here. There's another one behind me. It looks like it's been treated. And then there's one further down the line. So this.
Well, we're all the way to the top.
Yep.
Okay.
So how are
Yeah,
you?
this is January 1st. I'm okay.
Huh?
This is January 1st.
Oh, January 1st, yep.
We'll be doing it
Yep,
now.
that was January 1st.
Read this for you that it's not effective in these Africanized
This is out of Camp Newell.
in these situations we're in.
Living in the ruins, literally.
Frontier
Washing
road.
machine.
Frontier road.
Yes, both the washer and the dryer were completely full. Two separate hives, completely metered out.
Wow.
I'll pause it for a minute, yes?
What would you spray there?
Okay, what we use, this is something that I developed over the years because, as you guys know, if we can take the money and the honey, we will. So if there's honey to be had and we spray pyrethrins around, which are pesticide that we use mostly, it'll ruin the honey and we're gonna throw it away. So I got this idea, I don't care if the bees are dead or not, I just don't want them flying around. Oh, so we use a non-toxic spray adhesive, craft adhesive. You can get it at Ace. It's made to use in your home for arts and crafts. You know, sticks their wings together. They drop like a, this is not a DIY channel killer, Bee Nation. Put down the spray adhesive and step away from the hive. You get in trouble. I'll send these guys after you. Anyway, it sticks their wings, they drop like rocks. With just a part of a can, we can knock down 20,000 bees, and that's 20,000 less bees there are to go and sting somebody down the road. Because as you guys know, they will go a third of a mile is nothing for them. Half a mile to go sting. We'll see a couple incidents like that. So it's a non-toxic spray adhesive that we use. And it works really good, if I may say so myself. And that's what we teach people in the industry to use now. We were licensed as exterminators, of course, with the Pest Management Division. And we teach also for the Department of Ag. So anyway, go ahead. Yeah, washer and dryer. Okay. So everybody knows valve boxes they just love to live in valve boxes. It's a perfect home for them. And amazingly enough, in a little valve box like that, there can easily be 50,000 bees. It's astounding. They're just like a little city in there, but it's a city of one organism because each bee is part of that organism. And we'll go into that a little bit more too, how they act as an organism. So why do they attack? Well, it used to be pretty straightforward. And this is why beekeepers wear white is in nature. See, honeybees are native to Europe, Asia, and Africa, not the Western Hemisphere. Here we go again. But throughout the eons, their natural enemies have been dark furry things, animals that like to eat honey, whether it's a honey badger or whatever. So over the eons, they've learned to attack dark furry things. So this is why we wear white. So any color of clothing can set them off. And it's gotten more extreme too as what will set them off. They hate the CO2 coming from your nose and mouth. That is, they focus on that. The whole theory behind that is, what's the most sensitive part on a big black furry thing, a bear or something? It's nose and mouth. So over the eons, they've learned to attack that. I've done experiments with myself where I'll have in my suit a tube going from my mouth to my boot on the inside of the suit with a screen on the end, and they'll attack my boot because I'm breathing through it. Fascinating. So, and this is why you don't want to jump into water because they'll follow your CO2. Of course, any vibration. Oh, they love weed whackers, don't they? Yeah, they've been attacking weed whackers from 100 yards away lately. 100 yards away. Yeah, we've gone up, we've come out on calls, get out there, and for instance, the person's in the hospital, or you guys have already taken him away, he's in the hospital, and the riding lawnmower is still going around in circles out in the yard with nobody on it. So he pulled a Superman. Or the weed whacker is sitting out there, running away in there, getting totally screwed by killer bees. It's awesome. So They hate the high pitch of things, and they hate actually my sense of humor, but you can't fault them for that. Fragrance, they hate smells. For some reason, they hate Old Spice. I don't know. I mean, I said that, it was so funny. God, who was the rancher out here? I was talking with a rancher and his wife, and he had passed away, and I was talking with her, and I was explaining this all to her, you know, and they hate smells, they hate fragrance, conditioners, shampoos, etc., and they especially hate Old Spice. And she kind of shook her head and walked away and said, "Who don't?" I laughed my ass off. It was, you know, these dry sense of humor out here, these people are awesome. So anyway, they hate smells, they hate everything from what I can tell. The queen bee can sting, but she's normally only one in the hive, so she's going to be protected and not sacrifice herself, because it is a kamikaze mission with these guys. The drones cannot sting at all. They don't even have a stinger. Their rear end's only good for one thing. Yep, exploding in midair. Not pretty. Not pretty at all. But the worker bees, they're all female. This explains a lot, I guess. But they are all undeveloped females. Literally, I'm not making this shit. This is just, you know, entomology. But they can sting. Now, the reason that it's a kamikaze mission is they are the only stinging insects that have barbs on their stingers. So it's like a fishhook. And they stick into your hide. Whereas a wasp or a hornet, they don't have barbs, so they can sting over and over again. So that is why it's a kamikaze mission. Unfortunately, there's 100,000 of the damn things in a hive. That's what a normal hive has in it now. So, like I was saying, the only one with a barbed stinger, and it is kamikaze. Now, when you do get stung, this is fascinating, because the attack pheromone is in the venom. And so when you get stung, it sends the pheromone to the rest of the hive that here's the intruder, which is you, and you become the target. They'll fly past everyone else who would continue trying to kill you or drive you off. More than that, you cannot wash that pheromone off your skin. It's subcutaneous. It goes into your bloodstream. So for up to a week, depending on your metabolism, you're marked. And of course, the more times you get stung, the worse. And unfortunately, the attack pheromone is the same for every hive. Even though every hive is an enemy of every other hive, the attack pheromone is the same. So any hive you walk by, if you get marked, you're likely to be attacked. It just gets worse. These things are just ridiculous. So the foraging and scout bees, all right, they are out looking for something to do. Back in the old days, they would go a couple of miles. These guys are better at everything, so they will forage up to a 3-mile radius from that hive in your backyard. The problem is they're competing with all the native pollinators in that area. They're not doing the native environment a favor. I keep harping on that because it's such a change in our thoughts about it. No more Winnie the Pooh shit. You know, they're the enemy all across the board, especially now that they're Africanized and trying to kill us all the time. So we got two types. After any removal, you've got bees flying around, of course. It's like herding cats. You're not going to get them all. They're everywhere. Each hive is an organism, much like ourselves, with each cell being a bee is a cell, and the queen is the heart and the brain. Well, after any removal, the bees that are flying all around are called remnant bees because they're leftovers of the hive. They will come back to that spot wherever their old front door was. They will come to an area nearby it or right at it. And they cannot go anywhere else. Okay, I always use this analogy of the remnant bees are like an amputated limb. Okay, you can live without your finger just fine, but your finger cannot live without you. Same analogy. If your finger's lopped off, it's not going to go over to another human and join it. Remnant bees can't go join another hive. They're enemies of each other. Also, if your finger's lopped off, it's not going to crawl over there and start a new human. The analogies continue. So they cannot. They are like an amputated limb, and they will die off. Now, in the old days, remnant bees were never aggressive. Yeah, of course, that's changed too. Now they'll be mad up to 2 weeks. But then again, we've been on jobs where someone has gotten killed the day before we show up, and you'd swear they were European honeybees. They didn't care if we killed them or not. Whereas they just killed someone or just stung someone to death. Or we'll get there, and they'll just be mad as heck, bouncing off the windshield a third of a mile away, and stay that way for 2 weeks, the remnant bees. Like what happened up the Gulch in 1998. That incident. Those bees were angry for 2 weeks, and we had sawhorses out. Oh, there we go again.
Front door.
Allergic reaction. I'm just blaming bets here.
That's just a those two.
Oh, okay, somebody might. Thought we had another caller going. So, so they can be very aggressive, and we just don't know. It's all up in the air. And it's kind of like not knowing what we're getting into each time. We don't know what the behavior of those random bees are going to be. Now, robber bees, okay, you got, in a 3-mile radius, all the beehives know about each other in case they can steal honey from each other. It's like an HOA from hell. That's the only reason they would ever visit each other is to steal honey. But they even smell different to each other, just like humans, once again. So you're going to have bees visiting where that old hive was. The main job of guard bees at the entrance to every hive are mainly keep away neighboring bees from stealing their honey, but also any other threat that they perceive. So the robber bees are going to come and realize that that hive is gone. There's nothing for them to do there. It'll take them around a week to do that. Of course, they look the same. They're still the same thing. But they are like bees on flowers. They're foraging. They don't care about us. If foraging bees ever get mean, we're screwed. I mean, what are we going to do? You can't have a garden anymore because we have this invasive species here. We're not going to wipe them out. We're just on a battle base. So robber bees will learn that there's nothing to steal there. They'll go home. Your remnant bees will die off. So after a week to 2 weeks of any removal after we leave, it's a done deal. It's over. And we guarantee it for 2 years anyway.
Hey, Reed, is there any suggestion that after you've removed a hive, will another swarm be attracted to that area?
Exactly. Oh, absolutely. That's a really good question, a good point to bring up is there are, did we go into that, the 3 types of removals? Because
I'm not sure.
Yeah, there are three basic types of removals. There's ball bees hanging in a tree, which used to be benign and was nothing, but that's what killed Dan Oldfield. So they're aggressive now. So we can't trust them in any form or shape. Ball bees hanging in a tree. That swarm, that's easy. Then was what I've named a new conceal, which is just like it sounds. If you get out the pyrethrin, kill them, seal up the hole. That's if they're in a stucco wall or a block wall or something where you can't remove the comb. We just simply can't. You know, I tell people, if we don't need to tear your house down, we won't. We wouldn't mind, but we won't. You know, if you'll let us, we will. Then there's the fun one where we have to tear up the floor of the shed or take out the wall or the ceiling and all the comb. So what we do is remove all the comb. We scrape it down as much as possible, as close to whatever they're attached to, wood, concrete, whatever, because those pheromones will soak into whatever they're attached to and last for decades. So what we use to coat that area, as long as it's not going to be unsightly, is automotive undercoating. That's what we found works the best. It's not foolproof. Nothing is with these guys except the dead bee. Dead honeybee's a good honeybee in this hemisphere. We coat the area with that, and that bees hate that smell, and so they're less likely to. But we guarantee it for 2 years. In either way, the new conceals are pretty much the most straightforward because we seal them in. Kill the bees inside the hive in the block wall or whatever and seal up the hole. If the door is closed, nobody can get in, right? So to that point, yes, they will definitely, a new swarm will fly by and go like, wow, furnished department, move right in. And there you go again, you're back to zero. So this is, every year at this works. We were out at the Slaughter Ranch, which is a ranch named after the guy's name, John Slaughter, out on the other side of Douglas. And we were out at Kerry Kimbrough's ranch actually, and he had a horrible hive underneath a stock tank and miles upon miles of dirt road. You know, stop, open up the gate, you know, close the gate, go to the next gate. No, they chased our truck for 10 miles after that bad removal. They will not give up. So the behavior, like I said, has changed. Underwater, 95% of people that jump into water when they're getting attacked, which you'd think would be a logical thing, now they end up dying because they will hang around for hours waiting for you to come up and breathe. People that have gotten attacked and seriously stung and lived have told me, and it's pretty much universal, it feels like you're on fire and drowning at the same time. Because when you're getting stung, as you all know, it feels like a cigarette burn that won't go away. Well, if that's happening hundreds of times to you, and then every time you open your mouth to breathe, you get a mouthful of bees and you're ingesting them, and they're stinging you on the way down. Yeah, like being on fire and drowning at the same time. Horrific, absolutely horrific. Every week in Cochise County in the summer now, they kill a dog, a horse, or a goat. Every week, just standard procedure. They have more guard bees, of course. When we look at a hive to begin with, if there's 2 or 3 dozen guard bees out there, it can be that will indicates a meaner hive. But there is nothing straightforward of it. They can be mean, they can be nice. It doesn't make any sense. So we have to go in looking for battle every single time. There is no Mr. Nice Guy in with these guys anymore. They take over Africanized hives, and yeah, we've actually seen them come out of a hole like that at 1,000 per second. Like somebody turned on a high pressure water hose. Horrifying. Absolutely horrifying. Because they act as an organism. Okay, if a hive is discovered or a swarm, this stuff is probably pretty obvious to firefighters, first responders, etc. Move everybody away from the area. Get indoors. Cover your head and head for cover. This is what we teach for search and rescue, Forest Service, etc., state parks. If you're out hiking or something, cover your head and head for cover. No more zigzag running around. You've got to get in a straight line and get out of there. Warn the neighbors. You guys know we do that a lot. We'll go door to door and make sure all the neighbors keep their animals in, the dogs in, and not have any barbecues for a couple days if we're doing a removal at the neighbor's house. And so, and of course, call an expert. This is not a DIY channel, Killer Bee Nation. Put down the spray adhesive and step away from the hive. They never listen to me. Anyway. Yeah. Okay, but they're just honeybees. Is this the adult version?
No.
Okay. Just checking. Just checking.
So
Here.
PG.
This is PG. This is BG.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, that was wrong. So this is, people always say, oh, like I said before, oh, they're just honeybees. Yeah, watch this. You guys will know what I'm talking about.
Oh, they're pouring out. There's so many, Reed.
Where are they pouring out of? That's
Down below. Hold on, I'm almost there.
okay. Oh yeah, loosen that up. Where?
In the side. I'm okay. The damage thing.
All right. Oh, it's just got a damage thing. There you go. All right, come on down. All right, take a peek at it.
Hold on, let me get this off in here.
All right. And this is just deadly. I mean, this is horrible. Oh, it's vicious. I gotta get my spray adhesive going here. Man. Killer bees, do not present at home.
Yeah!
It's at the hospital in Wilcox. Okay, Killer bee nation. Holy shit, what a hot hive. It was killed the maintenance guy. In the truck. Hold it. Oh my god, this is a nightmare. Oh my god, turn on slow mo. Holy shit. Alright, I've got to get this going and I've constantly, we're in a very populated area here. And we got to get this whole thing going because this is really ridiculous and dangerous. Yes, sir?
It's really dangerous.
It's up Wood Canyon. And that house with the really steep roof on the right up there? Yeah, we had to climb all the way up the damn thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Got something in my ear, it sounds like a bee.
Ah!
I'm scared.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of bees.
This is up the Gulch. Which we have the full bid on. Jesus, Killer bee nation. Some they're stinging people 750 yards away.
So this hive is not completely dead yet. And I'm marking it out because
that's the spray adhesive again.
he's flying around right here. So I was thinking that I'm going to shit with him. I'm going to take the boxes off.
But they've already been attacking for a couple hours. You guys were there.
We're going to be working on a law actually where it's illegal to keep bees in any city limits. For this reason.
Yeah. So it's a big deal.
Yeah. What do we got? So, when they're angry, which is the problem again. You don't know if they're going to light up or not, but you can't risk it. You can't take the chance and say, oh, but they might be nice. Who cares? They're deadly invasive species. I got to keep drilling that into everybody's heads. They don't belong here. They're the enemy. They actually are. They're not Winnie the Pooh anymore. That's nonsense. So, of course, again, alert everyone to the danger and a straight line. No more of this zigzagging nonsense, all right? The bees are too smart. You got to run for your life, literally. And get into a vehicle or a building. It's better to be inside of a vehicle with 100 of them than outside with 100,000. We have watched endlessly when attacks are happening, guys run right past an open truck door, right down the street, just like they can outrun them. But honestly, when you get attacked, your legs don't care who's above the waist. They don't care. We're out of here. We don't care what's going on. I watched guys run off of roofs, 2-story roofs. Watch guys run out in front of traffic. Again, it's not fight or flight. It's flight or flight. That's what it is when you get attacked by these things. And so again, do not jump into water and get into, you can survive a few dozen stings inside of, hopefully anyway, inside of a vehicle. But staying outside will probably get you killed.
Okay. So the next one is rated R.
Okay, this one's rated R. This is the incident up the Gulch. This is the full vid from when we showed up, and you guys were already there. And 2 people in the hospital. I think it was 13 people stung, and a gal trapped in her house with you guys. You'll see. This was just outrageous. World War B.
Back this up a little bit. If you can get some spray adhesive on when I stop. Harry! Yeah, nice, huh? Were these yours? Oh, fuck. All right. Where's everybody?
We're still not even anywhere near the hive. We're not on the
Okay, Killer Bee Nation, we got a huge attack right now up the Gulch in Bisbee. Someone had a beehive up here. They were keeping, please don't keep bees in Arizona. Where are we going, Harry? Further? Yeah, it's up behind. God damn it. What's going on up there?
Jane Hive up there.
All right. They're pretty pissed.
Just, I went to, because it's listing with the rain, I have them right near my house.
Well, they're all Africanized in the state, as you well know now. Yeah. All right. Is anybody hospitalized yet?
No, we have one person getting ready to go.
All right. Well, we're out of the way back there. There's the police behind us.
Perfect.
Let's go get. We're going to kill this hive. You know that. Okay. Let's go get a Fendona. This Fendona, we got to put him down. Down. All right, Killer Bee Nation. We've got a serious incident here. So you just had the one hive? Yeah.
So we're gonna block off from them going up.
Perfect. You might even need to go further.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk back up. Is there?
Get as close as you can, so when we get her out, we can throw her in.
Yeah.
Have they got her on her drip yet?
No, not yet.
Okay. We'll go up with you in a minute. If of course anybody peeks their heads out, tell them to get the hell inside. Hosh, we're gonna create. There's a patient in this house here, and we need to create a wall of spray adhesive so they can get them into the ambulance.
Okay.
We're basically gonna create a wall, spray adhesive, so they can get them from this house into this ambulance as soon as he gets close enough. Let me know when you're in position. All right, I'm gonna give you a minute. I'm gonna communicate. Hi, honey, how are you? Yeah, not so hot. All right, we're gonna line this up. Now I'm gonna make a wall of safety. All right, with the spray adhesive so we can get you out to the ambulance, okay? The only way to go, of course, is through here. This is spray adhesive, it's non-toxic, all right? We basically drop them like rocks.
Okay.
And so we're gonna make a wall, as soon as he gets back around close enough and the back door closed, and you guys can get her out, all right? We gotta make sure the dog is out of the way. When they bring her out, all right, you and I are gonna walk ahead and to the side.
Okay.
And we're gonna be doing this. We're gonna knock him down, knock him down, knock him down. He's already taken a lot of stings. So let's get started with that right now. Knock him down, knock him down. You're still gonna have a few out here. You're still gonna have a few out here. Cover her head. All right, let's go. We're just gonna knock him down. I'm gonna walk as close. All right, there you go. I'm gonna get a little bit behind you and to your side. There you go. Push, stay closer, stay closer. There you go. You're doing good. You're doing great. Oh, you're doing great. You are. You're doing awesome. Okay, stay ahead. Get down on the side, on the street level. Push and knock them down near her. Thank you. Thank you. Let's go in the side. Look at that. You get the VIP. You get the VIB treatment. There you go, hon. Hurry. Hurry. All right, gentlemen.
Okay.
Holy shit. We're gonna go up and kill some fucking bees.
All right.
I was not happy. All right, Killer Bee Nation, we're going to put the kibosh on this hive. How far up is it? Let's go ahead and go up. And we're going to make quick work of this, putting them down.
It was blocked all the way from above the most. I found a young one.
Oh, yeah.
Straight through.
hive is not completely dead yet. I don't want to clear it up because so many bees flying around right here. He's going to knock a shitload up. I'm going to take the boxes off. Might kill things off. We're going to be working on a law actually where it's illegal to keep bees in any city limits for this reason. And did you know that these bees are in all the lower 48 states now? So when I tell people that we rescue the fire department with these things, this is what I mean. I'm going to pop this off, see what I did with that pop the top porch, create my pyrethrin. Okay, now they're in escape mode. Okay, this is working really well, because now they are escaping in let's get the hell out of here mode, not, yeah. And I'm hoping that we can continue that down below. Damn repeat of, in 1998, we had the worst stinging incident in the world to this day. Do you have a hive tool? All right, Killer Bee Nation. Absolutely ridiculous. So we're killing everything. We're trying to knock them down as much as we can. This is working really well. Thank you very much. Well, lucky for you, we weren't in Wilcox.
So we're just spraying pyrethrin in just to simply kill the bees back with the honey. No romance. Get it over.
That's all right. That's right, they're in death mode. Thank you. And we got to make sure the firemen are okay, because they were getting stung too. All right. Here, hive tools there. All right, here we go. You have a beautiful yard, by the way. I mean, absolutely wonderful. All right.
I don't know. Heat of the moment.
Okay, Hosh, we will be wanting more spray adhesive, of course. Now, this works so well that I don't even have any on me right now. All right. The problem is where the stinging incidents happened, and I say plural, there, the pheromone is there. And so although that hive is officially dead, there's still a lot of angry white blood cells flying around. Damn it. Ouch, damn it. All right, well, they got her to the hospital apparently. All right, so this is good. They're actually tapering off. You know what, Hosh, I'm gonna get out a spray adhesive, knock down these guys. Oh my God. Oh, fuckers. All right, hive is dead. Yeah, the threat is about at the 85% containment level right now.
Okay.
How's it looking down there as far as activity?
So basically from your truck back, there's not really nothing.
That's awesome. Then we can continue to knock them out. What do you think of this stuff?
That's good. Mr. Booth, how
Yes, sir.
long do you think?
Before you can open it up?
Yeah, we can open it up.
Sundown.
Till sundown?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is not safe for anybody to walk for sure.
Okay.
Excellent. Yeah, it's not the most that I'm worried about. It's that one for that person that's allergic.
Yeah.
And then they take your house and the car and everything else. And
Yeah.
in the state of Arizona, the state hates these things. Well, you know that.
Yeah.
And I'm not too fond myself. Totally unnecessary shit. Oh my God. I hope the lady lives. She got stung more than 5 or 6 times, that's for damn sure. Oh, goddamn people keeping bees there, just honeybees. You heard the gal? Well, a week ago they were fine. We're gonna wrap this up. Brewery Gulch, beautiful Bisbee, Arizona. It's safe now, you can come visit. This poor woman. She was in her hive a month ago without a suit on. And they were just as nice as could be. And now she got in her suit. And thank God she put on her suit and tried to, because it was tipping over a little bit, tried to straighten it up. And obviously all hell broke loose. And they sent at least one person to the hospital. So we're gonna wrap it up here. Host, say goodbye. Oh my God, we have had a hell of a day of it, you guys. You can always go to buysomehoney@killerbeeguy.com and follow us, please. Look at the shit we have to do. Love you guys. Thanks for coming along on our adventures. There's more.
Every day, every day.
I'm gonna back.
It's endless. It's gotten worse than that actually. But this is, I keep stressing it, deadly invasive species. Honeymoon's over. No keeping bees, you know? Not even out in the middle of nowhere, because then you're destroying that very sensitive native environment out there that doesn't have hardly any invasive plants or species. It's just craziness. So, all right, have your PPE ready, of course. Do you guys have bee suits? A few laying around, nets, something?
Yeah, just the net, the
Yeah,
woods.
turnouts and nets, yeah. It's horrifying. You can always just give us a call, of course. We'll come in and do it. You know, when you guys as first responders pull up to an incident, don't just jump out of the vehicle. This is not an MVA, this is not a motor vehicle accident, this is not a altered LOC or something. You gotta see what they're gonna do to you, what these bees are gonna do to you. All right, so you pull up in the vehicle, watch for activity, and I'm talking start a third of a mile away or more, and see for activity bouncing off the windshield. If they're bouncing off your windshield, they don't care about our uniforms. They don't care about who we are. They will kill anything. Like I said, I've seen them stinging birds flying overhead, telephone poles, and tires on trucks. When the attack for one is that heavy in the air, by the time you guys get there usually, it's like when we get there, the damage is already done. And you've got angry bees everywhere. So assess the situation. Now, when it comes to the victim, if you jump out and you run 100 yards to that victim, there's a really good chance you're not gonna make it back. All right, these bees will attack you. They don't care what your good intentions are. The closer to the victim, the better. Pretty much obviously, we figure about 10 feet is, I without a bee suit on, I wouldn't run 10 inches personally. You know, the hardest thing that I've had to do is watch an animal die from bee stings that I couldn't do a damn thing about. You know, I've never had to watch a human, but of course we've known plenty of them that have, between us all. So get up as close to the stinging victim as possible. Now, I recommend using the PA to call to the person if they are responsive. If they can crawl to your side door or back door, awesome. You can hop out, I'd say about 10 feet is the max, because you can hop out and there are no stretchers, none of that. Grab them by the ass and throw them in the vehicle. Now, you're gonna get stung, period, right? And that person's already been stung. If they're unresponsive, well, it's like what happened up at Sunsight a couple of years ago, I think it was, where the father-son team got attacked, and the father was on the ground and unresponsive, and it's gonna happen. You pull up to an incident like this, and somebody's gonna cowboy up, it's gonna happen, you know. And I didn't say it was good, but they loaded up, the EMTs loaded up the syringes in the truck, ran out, jabbed him in the ass, and ran back in. That's all. They got stung, of course, but they did save his life. So it's all mayhem. There is no protocol for this. We're creating it as we go, because this threat never existed before on the planet. This is new stuff for all of us. All right, so get as close as you can. Call that person in. If they can crawl to you, give them a direction, because they're getting attacked from all sides. They're so confused they have no idea what's going on. If you can give them direction to have them come to you, then if they can get to the door, heck yeah, open the door and throw them in and close the door. Then you can go into treatment. All right, but you've got to get close enough. You cannot risk your own life. A dead EMT or a police officer is not good to anyone. All right, or an injured one that you can't. You know, if you're running alongside them and getting stung, that ain't good either. All right. So get as close as you can, 10 feet, and again, everyone will get stung. Now, here is where we were working with Kathy Childress up in Benson, the nurse, as to what to do once the victim is in the emergency vehicle, all right? And of course, as you guys know, there is a difference between anaphylaxis and allergic, all right? Anaphylaxis, throat closing, you know the symptoms. Of course, allergic reactions can include localized swelling, localized reactions, and epinephrine will save people's lives, as you know, especially with anaphylaxis. I think that's mainly where it's used, isn't it? Horsch was what she was saying, yeah. And not necessarily with just a localized allergic reaction, but with anaphylaxis. All right, epinephrine, H1 antagonist, which is of course Benadryl, and corticosteroids. Now, in case of allergic reaction, you have to assess this condition of the victim, just like you do with any kind of thing you're going to go on. You know, if it's a motor vehicle accident, whatever it is, you have to assess what's going on with that victim and act accordingly, and that's just the way it is. It's immediate response, and you just have to determine if that, you know, situation. The most important thing that you can do besides all this is get as many stingers out as possible. A stinger is a hypodermic needle. It literally is a little hypo. And if you pinch that little sucker out, there's two little bulbs on top, and you're just giving that person a full dose. You get out tweezers and start pinching out stingers, you're giving them full doses. You're just injecting the hell out of them. Because when a stinger goes into the hide, it has those barbs, and it sticks in there, and actually has a hydraulic action that will push it further into your skin. Now, on top of that stinger are two little venom sacs. that will autonomously, after the bee has crawled off, it's a kamikaze mission, she crawls off and goes die. They will pump venom into you for up to 5 minutes. So if you take tweezers and pinch it out, you're giving them a full dose. Scrape it out. You gotta get rough with it. You're gonna have to scrape that skin, because those barbs hang on. I'm sure everybody has had this happen to them, and it's no fun. You start scraping, it's like, it's not coming out. You scrape as many stingers out as you can. Time is of the essence as far as getting less envenomation to the patient or the victim, just because of time. The longer the stinger's in, the more they can pump venom in. That's all. And like I said before, it takes about 500 stings to equal a rattlesnake bite. All right. And of course, we all have heard of or know people that have got stung thousands of times, and I don't know how they lived, but they did. It's not a pretty picture. So get the stingers out, and of course, to treat localized reaction, ice is good to keep swelling down. We all know that. That's just a given. And your local protocols, of course, you guys, have training like this. Of course, this is kind of like the first in the nation what we're doing here, because Cochise County, we always say we've been on the front line of this deadly invasion from these killer bees. We are also the only ones that are publicizing it, that are talking about it, that are making it aware to the general public. Everyone else is all still in love with honeybees. This has got to go out the window. People will die. More people will die. So we're kind of on the front lines of this nonsense, all right? And as far as treatment goes in the field, totally new stuff. Totally new stuff. Okay, what do we got next, folks?
Next is just Q&A.
All right, Q&A.
Yeah.
Q&A, anybody got any thoughts, questions? Yes. Anyway. The 3-year-old would like to add something. So, anybody got any thoughts on it, or?
I'm glad you told us that, because I was always on the, no, don't kill them, just.
Oh, yeah, so Kevin is saying, you guys mind if we show everybody what we're doing on YouTube? He's scooting off to the side. Come on, you look awesome, you look handsome. Show everybody what's going on. These are all buddies of ours anyway, for God's sake. So Kevin was just saying that it's kind of an eye-opener to him even. It's like, well, people are like, oh, well, don't hurt them. Are you gonna kill them? Even after they killed a damn dog or horse. What in the hell's wrong with people, They're like, oh, my husband's in the hospital from him. Oh, are you going to save him, though? No, good grief. And we've all heard it, It's just such a, like I said, flipping it on its head. As far as, oh, but they're honeybees, we need them. No, we don't. But they pollinate. Yeah, that's the problem. They're an invasive species. That is the problem. Invasive species, once again, invasive species have never benefited the native environment they've invaded, let alone these little bastards, right? So, any other thoughts or comments? Yeah?
I may have missed it. Are there any long-term solutions to resolving this issue?
I wish I'd gone around about this, of course. And people, because now they're in all the lower 48 states. They're in Ontario and Alberta. They adapt endlessly, right? Wherever European honeybees can survive, these guys can thrive. So it's really it could be a big letdown, because we're never going to win this war, but we're going to win every single battle. And we're going to have more fun doing it. You guys know us. We're going to have more fun winning every battle and losing this war than anybody should. But unfortunately, no, it's a case-by-case thing. What we're trying to do is get people to don't keep honeybees in your backyard. Please. Do not. It's just perpetuating the problem, and now with the spread of Africanization, it's a deadly problem. So, did you have some?
Yeah, so if we see a beehive, do we just call it in, no matter if it hasn't stung anybody, it's just...
Yeah, well, and that law, the ARS 36-601 does state that if you're a feral hive living in that log in your yard or in your barbecue grill or any other damn place, or out in the tire in the backyard, just because it hasn't stung anyone doesn't mean it's legal. Legally, it has to be removed. Yep.
Is there any way to revert the bees from...
Like genetic or something like that? We wish. In fact, you know how they did with mosquitoes, where they dropped all the sterile male mosquitoes and all that kind of crap, right? Unfortunately, no. And that is because we cannot control the breeding at all of them. That queen, if there was breeding within the hive, yeah, then we could. But there is none. She has to go on a mating flight and attract other drones from God only knows where to do her mating flight. So unfortunately, there's no way to breed them out. Good question though. Yeah, good question. Anybody else got some thoughts and hopes and wishes?
I think there's probably more we can do to publicize that you can't have bees in your yard.
That, you know, we've gone around about it, and the lawmakers have also about, and there are towns in Wisconsin now, because of Africanized honeybees, where you can't keep bees in the city limits. That makes sense to me, you know? Then again, there's towns in Florida where you can keep as many as you want. What the hell, you know? Now, of course, this is still the Wild West. You know, we don't step on too many people's toes, but when it comes to something like this, not much of an outlaw as I am. I've been battling these things for 30 years and lived through it. Yeah, I'm with you. People should not keep honeybees. They're a deadly invasive species. What? What don't people get about this, right? You know, so I'm totally with you on this. Steering people away from keeping honeybees, being under the delusion that they are helping. The highway to hell is paved with good intentions. We all know that, right? So, any other thoughts? All right, guys. Thank you so much for sitting through our stuff here, and we hope you enjoyed it. And any questions, of course, you guys know me personally, don't hesitate to give a call. We're here for you. Love you guys too, man. I'll tell you, we respect you, we love you guys completely. You guys are amazing. You guys are amazing. So Killer Bee Nation, we're going to be up in Elfrida on Monday, and then, where are we after that, Lois? We're Friday. On the 5th? Yeah, I think on the 5th.
If she's not.
And then we'll be up at Sunsites after that. We're trying to get as many fire departments, first responders, police, medical, everybody, you know, about this. But those of us, you and us, who are on the front lines of this, we got to spread the word about this, you know. It's even school systems. So, all right, thank you guys so much for joining us. It's been a lot of fun. We're gonna do it again shortly. Love you, Killer Bee Nation. We'll see you on the, who knows? Oh wait, we have a removal on Saturday, Hosh.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, we'll see you Saturday.
Say bye, Hosh.
Say goodbye, Hosh.
Goodbye, Hosh.
Thank you so much, man.
Oh, absolutely.
It's always a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Safe out there.
But,